let's say you want to build a web page where the home page, the about page, and the contact page all share the same header, which can typically be a navbar. So all of the 3 pages you have are consisting of a header and some component, a header, a component, and a header and a component. So it's basically header plus some blob, some red stuff, header plus red stuff, header plus red stuff. So how can you simplify it into a template, you may ask? This is how you can simplify it into a template. Header plus a blob, a red blob. So here in React Router, we are going to call that blob an outlet component. Everything you supply into the outlet component, whether it be home component, about component, or the contact component, is going to be rendered after the header. And this whole template, we will call it layout component. So that is essentially how React Router layout and React Router outlet works. Now, let's look at a working example together. Here, we have an App.jsx as usual, and I've created 2 folders, Components folder and Pages folder. Under Components folder, I have a Header.jsx, I have a Layout.jsx, and under the Pages folder, I have About page, Contact page, and the Home page, just like I've depicted in the drawing. In all of these pages, I've just written a very simple description about the page, About page, Contact page, and Home page. Let's shift our attention to the components. In here, let's first look at header. In header, I'm just going to say header goes here. In the layout component, first of all, we have 2 things to import. The first thing we import is the outlet from React DOM. And the second thing we want to import will be, you guessed it, it's the header component. Because as you saw in my drawing here, in the layout component, there are 2 parts. One is the header part and one is the outlet part. So we need to import 2 things. So that's what we're going to do now. Now we have safely imported the outlet function, outlet component, and the header component. Now, what is the order of the 2 things? The first component is going to be the header, and the second component is going to be outlet, just as this picture shows, right? And here is the completed Layout.jsx for you. And let's go to the App.jsx. In here, first of all, you'll want to import the necessary library and the functions from React Router. So the first one will be browser router, routes, and route from React Router. And then next thing you want to do is to import all of the components that you're going to use, which includes the layout and 3 of the pages. So the reason why we're not importing header is because, as you remember, header is already in layout. So basically, we're going to import 4 components only. So let's start with layout. And we're going to import home. Next, we're going to import the about page. And then lastly, we're going to import the contact page. Okay, we're ready. Let's first set up our browser router. If you have seen my previous video, I have explained in details how to set this up. So if you're not familiar with it, please check that video. So this is just a template here. Now, let's focus our attention on root. This is where we're going to put our layout component, our home page, our about page, and our contact page components in. The way we're going to organize these 4 components will be as follows. As you can see, the layout is going to be the parent component, which is holding all the pages, home, about, and contacts. The way home, about, and contact will be rendered is going to be according to how the layout was set up. In layout, we have a component called outlet, and outlet is like a placeholder that allows us to dynamically render whatever we supply to it, whatever the child components supply to the parent component. So this is how we'll have a home page with a header, a about page with the same header, and a contact page with the same header. Let's try and code it now. So as I mentioned, layout is going to be the parent component. So let's type that out first. But this is no longer a self-closing component, and this component is going to wrap all of the 3 pages. So make sure that your slash is in here, okay? And in here, we'll have an element called layout. And under layout, we want 3 pages, 3 routes, which will be home, about, and contact respectively. And the paths will be slash, slash about, and slash contact. And let's type in what component is going to be rendered if this path is hit. Let's do the same thing for about and contact. So here, the structure we have now is exactly the same as the structure we have now, and this allows us to dynamically render the 3 pages with the same header. Let's test it out. So we have a header, and this is the home page. Let's try and go to the about page. The same header shows up, and it says this is the about page. Very nice. And contact. Let's check. Here, there's a contact page, and we're using the same header. So that is how we use the concept nested roots, layout, and outlet to make a navbar. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.